and welcome to Doing It All Over 50, y'all. That's right, live with Lisa Santiago. All things faith, fashion, feelings, food, and of course, fabulousness. I am your host, Lisa Santiago McNeil, and I will be bringing to you every week on Wonderful Wednesday amazing guests and topics that will keep you at the top of your euphoric levels. How about that? We want to stay at the top. We want to stay in the positive. We want to stay in the place of fabulous. Now, I am fresh back from a renewing retreat on this weekend where I had the opportunity to really do some reflecting and some projecting and some evaluating. And I really had the opportunity to sort of tap in to some visions that I want to build around for 2021, right? So a lot of times people start working on their vision boards and their all of that kind of stuff at the beginning of the year or the end of the year. But right now they're usually focusing on family and on food and maybe on some of that Black Friday shopping. But I really focused on reflecting on the successes of the past, reflecting on the possibilities for the future, and then trying to identify which ones were for me, which ones were for people that I love, which ones were for my clients, which ones I needed to keep, which ones I needed to shift, and which ones I needed to give away. Because so often when we have these projections for the next year or for the next thing, we pile them all on and we get so much stuff that we're like, oh my goodness, and we get overwhelmed. And what may happen is we don't focus on anything. But because we're going to take some time to focus on faith, fashion, feelings, and food, we're going to also take a moment to look at how faith plays into your decision to do the next thing, the next big thing, the next interesting thing, the next thing for your life. Faith has a big footprint for me in that I like to believe that it is the first criteria for the next big thing, right? So there may be these grand gestures and grand projections and grand opportunities, but the first thing that I got to do is slow down and check my faith and see, does it fit in with what my purpose is? Does it fall in line with my divine design? And is it going to stand in the way of anything else that I am created for? And so I'm taking this little pre-season, if you will, to focus on what it is I'm designed for, what I'm good at, and what I really want to do and am made to do. Now, a few years ago, this thought was filled with a bit of, what's the word? Maybe fear, which is not one of the F's that we focus on, right? But it was filled with a bit of fear because when you hit the 40s, I'm now 52, going on 53. When you hit the 40s, sometimes we have a moment where we think we've waited too long. We get this moment where we think, oh no, I'm already 40. I can't do this. I can't do that. And it took a moment and some help of some amazing coaches to help me to shift into finding my 40s as my best season yet. Only to now, honey, let me tell you about the 50s is everything. It's everything. But shifting required some of that outside information, some insights from some great mentors and coaches that helped me to see that if it's still within you to do, if it's still gnawing at you in your belly and you still have a desire to bring forth this thing, then as long as you still have the ability within you, the energy within you, and the aspiration to do it, then you need to get at it, right? Get at it. So I am in the process of reflecting on the next. What is that next? And how do we tap into it? And what are the so-called obstacles that we just need to get that good old bulldozer and bedazzle it and then blow it over, right? So we want to have some talks about those types of things today. Maybe there's some big asks to quote, oh my goodness, Lucinda Cross, right? The big ask. What's your big ask? What do you really want? Like, you may be asking for this small little thing and this next little thing, but you haven't asked for that big old thing because you're afraid of something, right? Well, we're going to act as if there are no limits. We're going to act as if there is nothing at all that could stand in the way or stop us from the greatness that we seek. Now, I'm going to introduce you to my guest, Deborah Sweazey. Deva with the cowboy hat on, and I was just waiting for her to get back in her seat and get herself together. You ready? Give me thumbs up. All right, I'm going to bring her up. Deborah. Hey, Deva.
Hey, Miss Deva. Oh, wrong way.
That's right. I'm over here.
I know. I always do it backwards. I'm like, I always got to make sure I'm doing it the right way. It feels weird, but hey.
It does. It feels very weird. So you got to kind of go opposite of what you're thinking.
I know. So let's do a high
five. Okay. High five.
You got it.
That is awesome. Welcome to the show. Doing it all over 50.
I appreciate it, girl, but we got an add a 6-0 there for me. Over 50.
That's all right. I was going to put it out there. I was going to give you a chance to put it out there because I'm telling you, some people are limiting themselves because of that number. So you're saying 60 loud and proud.
Hey, I sit there and I say I am 60 and frisky and I am feeling good because you know what? The bottom line, I have always said this kind of like through life, is age is just the number. Because, you know, people sometimes, like you were saying, I love what you said about you start looking at yourself as though, wow, I can't do that because I'm a certain age.
Right.
The only thing I say at my age that I cannot do is have a baby.
and I wonder if, I don't think you have a problem with that right now, do you?
No, I wouldn't want to have a baby. Exactly. I like taking care of them little grandbabies, you know?
Yeah.
But that's what's really sad sometimes, because I find in my journey talking to people in business and in friendships that a lot of women my age go, oh my God, why? How can you be doing that? How, you know, aren't you worried? Like motorcycle. My husband's 78 and yes. He drives a motorcycle. He loves it's a classic and it's a Triumph, and that little sucker goes fast and he loves it, you know. And my friends will say to me, aren't you guys scared? You're so old to be doing that. I could have fell at 20 too. And right. Like fall, and I walk in faith, as do you.
Yes.
And I say, if Jesus wants me to fall, girl, I'm going to fall, period. So, you know, you can't limit yourself in what you want to do, because we have one shot, little shot at this. And when I was introduced to network marketing and I came out here 3 years ago.
So tell people where you are first, because we're in two different places, two different time zones.
My name's Deborah Sweazey. I am 64. I am proud to be 64. And I'm in Florida. I am in Northeast Florida. Absolutely beautiful area. We're so close to Georgia that we get the change of seasons. Whereas South Florida is not that way. It's always hot, humid.
Oh, wow.
I'm not a hot and humid person. I like the cool air. And
Not me. I'm hot, hot, hot. I want the hot, all of it.
you need to come to South Florida, girl.
I was just there.
Where are you?
Yeah, I was in Port St. Lucie visiting my mom.
That's where I moved from to come to Norfolk.
Okay.
Girl, not too many people know Port St. Lucie. That is
Yeah.
key.
Yeah. My mom moved there in last year. And so I went to go visit her and it was wonderful. And I prefer the hot, and so does she.
Yeah, I'm 4 hours north, and there's a big difference. You know, my daughter moved here, and we moved because of the grandbabies. We want to be closer to them, and they're the littlest of the grandbabies. My husband's are all in their 20s now, and I'm starting with my babies. And when she used to tell me, Mom, when you come visit, you know, grab a sweater, a jacket, I used to laugh at her. I'd go, girl, you're still in Florida. But it's a big difference.
It's different. So tell me about your decision a couple of years ago to enter into multi-level marketing, and what the products are what drew you in about the products or the business.
Absolutely. Well, I was a nurse for 40 years. And I retired 8 years ago. So 3 years ago, I was on Facebook, just kind of like scrolling through, learning how to make friends, because I had moved here and didn't know anybody. And I thought, well, I'm going to join the community, the local community, women's groups and stuff. And I met a lady and we were talking, and I had mentioned to her that I had back pain, because I had 2 lumbar fusions after a bad car accident, which was ultimately why I retired, because I would have probably still been working because I loved it. It was a passion. It wasn't a job for me. And she said, do you want to try CBD oil? Well, I ended up trying it, and I fell in love with how it helped my body, not just in the pain control, but the general overall ability to sleep better, have less stress, and because I'm a real high strung type person. But also in the company, it's not just that, but we have supplements for aging, for you know, sleep, and things like wound care, all across the board. And so I thought, well, you know, maybe I'll just talk to my friends out here and help them. Well, before I knew it, I realized how many people were benefiting from supplementing in general, not just one thing, but the whole gamut. Because as a nurse, I knew that, you know, we don't get nutrients like we used to from the soils.
Right.
The fact that they're depleted. So you really, supplementing used to be a luxury, but supplementing now is really a necessity, I think, in the way we live. That's why you're seeing all the stores are changing their foods or going more organic, because for years we ate horrible. So being that was my passion to help people, I thought, wow, what a great way to still continue my journey of serving. You know,
now you had a recent experience that the supplements that you're taking also helped it with. You want to talk about that?
Absolutely. September 1st of this year, I actually had a stroke, and I thought I was very healthy. And I'm glad we're talking about this, because people need to realize it's not just how healthy you are that can bring you to, you know, not having a stroke or having a stroke, but also is what you bring into your environment. I was bringing in way too much stress. I was taking on more than I should have, because I was getting into different things with different businesses that I thought might be, you know, well, hell, if I'm doing this, I could do this and help this person more. And I realized real quick that morning, I woke up to go to the restroom, probably about 3:30, 4 o'clock. My left arm was numb and tingling. And I figured I'd slept funny on it.
Right. That's usually the first thought.
Me too. And I went right back to bed, woke up about 3 hours later, and my leg was numb. Left side of my face and my lips were all tingling and numb. And I knew as a nurse what was going on. So immediately to the hospital, and I'd had a stroke. And
Now, I want to stop you right there, Deborah, because as a nurse, you could potentially help us with this, because women stroke a lot differently than men stroke. And there are certain signs that we need to look for. Isn't there an acronym or something? I had it and then I lost it. The signs to look for women in stroke.
I don't remember off the top of my head what they are, but anything that your gut tells you is off, don't question it, because that's what we as women do. And I've had a lot of friends tell me, oh my gosh, I bet you I had a small stroke because there was this happened to me. And I now can say 100%, not only we've always heard that heart attacks are different for women as well.
Absolutely.
And strokes for sure, which I wasn't 100% sure about that, because most of the people I took care of as a nurse had the typical, they couldn't talk.
Right.
But it all depends on what kind of stroke, and where it is. And a lot of times you have these strokes that are in different parts of the body, which only is affecting the motor skills and not your vocabulary. So just because you're feeling a tingle sensation or a numbness, or you feel that you're a little off, a lot of people will say, oh, I have vertigo. When I hear that word, I say, go talk to your doctor and be sure, because vertigo is used like, oh, I have a headache.
Right.
It's not normal to have vertigo. You know, you might have wax in your ears, which is throwing off your balance. That can happen. But you don't just say, oh, it happens occasionally.
Don't worry about it. Right. You don't just say, don't worry about it.
And that could be the beginning of something.
Absolutely. So get it checked out. Well, I definitely think that we do need to be more vigilant as it relates to our health. But one of the things, and I've talked to a few of my friends over 40 and over 50, that I think there are some misconceptions, especially in this new stay in place order, and that is fashion. Do you think that you still have to pay attention to fashion over 40, 50, and 60, darling?
Absolutely. And not for anybody else, for ourselves.
Absolutely.
Amen. Because I tell you, when I walk around the house and I'm wearing a grungy t-shirt and stuff, I mean, my husband will point it out. He's like, honey, you got stains on that shirt. But I feel it. I'll see it and I'll go, I know, I got to change up. And my sisters both kind of tease me because I like to wear a little makeup in the house. I do.
Yeah.
I feel good in it. It's for me, you know, and my husband does appreciate it. And
I think mine does too.
Yeah, I bet you he does, because, you know, a lot of men will say they don't, but I think they do. I think they do, you know.
Well, I put on makeup every day. I get dressed every day. And not only because we're on the air in the morning, some of you guys know, shout out to our Empowerment Duo family. You do know that myself and my husband do a broadcast every morning at 9 a.m. Eastern on the Empowerment Duo page. You can check us out there. But even on Saturday, I still will get up and put clothes on and it may be more casual, but I'll still put earrings on, even if I'm not going anywhere. Like, I want to walk past the mirror and see vibrance.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know? And I think how we look is how we carry ourselves. I believe that wholeheartedly, because
I definitely do.
I've been teased, like I said, by my own family. They're like, oh my God, you know, you're at home, you know. But a lot of women tend to forget that. And what I see happening is, to the women who keep themselves up nice and then get a man
and stop,
they stop. And let me tell you, girl, that's when you lose them, because I do believe that men see that and they feel that you let yourself go and it was good enough for you to do that for them then, why not now? And for me, it's more important to let my husband see me looking good, put together. When we go out, I love to dress up, you know.
We do too.
I love it, you know, and I will wear my heels as long as I can. And it was funny because when I was in the hospital, they had me go to therapy immediately because the fact that I got there early, I was very lucky that it didn't progress. And the only thing that's left is the numbness in my hand and my arm. Mm-hmm. They said that'll come back, use the left hand and try to retrain it because the brain has lost connection. So it's kind of hard to grab things sometimes, and when I'm cooking, but I make myself do it. And the thing is I went in there to therapy, and the only question I kept asking them, will I be able to walk in my heels again? You know, and they kept laughing at me, and they were like, don't worry about heels. And I'm like, well, that's kind of part of my identity.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It is. It's part of your identity. It's not something that you're even necessarily doing for somebody else. You're doing it for yourself. I actually ventured out today. I had some errands to run, and it was so odd because, much like you, I put myself together every day. And sometimes when I'm out, I wonder if people even consider themselves anymore. Because there's so much just thrown together because you have on a mask, you know, you don't have to. I am surprised at the number of compliments that I get for simply having on two shoes that match. I mean, it seems like it.
Yeah.
It seems like it, but I'm saying I think that there's something to be wanting to be bright and vibrant in your space. Absolutely. You know, and just bringing that, and you know, you can actually smile with a mask on. You can smile with your eyes, and you can make utterance through that mask. That mask is not soundproof.
Exactly, that's true. And people seem to think that it's like a gag because nobody talks to you.
Yeah.
Don't. And I went and I bought one of those face shields, the clear one. My husband.
Oh yeah.
And my husband's like, why? I said, because I want people to see me and I want to put my lipstick on.
I love that.
Yeah, and those clear masks, I tell you, I love it because it does its purpose. But what the biggest reason I got it is for my eyes, because you're worried about viruses in the air, and you know, people have gone a little cray-cray and they can spit on you, and I don't want nothing in my eyes. And it's true. I mean, people have pulled over on the side of the road. We've got stories here where we live. There was a video of a young lady who cut some guy off, and they pulled over and they started fighting, and she spit in his car. She pulled her mask down and spit.
I can't even imagine anybody wanting to be that gross.
This is what's happening in the world, like you said. I mean, not only are people not caring to dress up because they have to wear a mask and stuff, but look at our churches. Girl, I remember church was like where you dress up and you just shine. You know, seriously, my little girl, when she was little, you know, she loved her little Sunday dress for Sunday school. And you know, I don't say you have to be really dressed up, you know, like a wedding type dress up, but you know,
but you can if you want to.
Yeah, but you know, why not make that a place where you know, I've always felt that for me, the better I feel in my skin, and that goes everywhere. I mean, I can pray better. I can enjoy a movie better. All of that stuff. I just feel good. And
everything. So what are you guys doing for fun? I know your husband has his hog. Do you get on the hog with him?
Well, it's actually a Triumph. So it's a
so that's
it's a Triumph. Yeah. A Bonneville, and it's a classic, and the two of us get on it. Yeah, we go around, but we have 3 dogs, and we love to go on hikes with them. We go to the park with them. We also love road trips. We'll just take off for the weekend and pick a spot on the map and say, let's get a little rental here for the weekend, or beach rental or mountain rental. And we love Tennessee, Gatlinburg.
Gatlinburg, yeah.
Yeah, so we go there for a month every January or February for our anniversary.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Now, I've done some retreats in Gatlinburg. It's beautiful.
Oh my
And
God.
have had some family events there. It's very beautiful.
I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, on your daily journey, you're running a business.
Two
And
businesses.
two businesses. What are the businesses?
It's for the supplements, which is
Mhm.
health and wellness and anti-aging. But after my stroke, my friend introduced me to a company called Enagic. I don't know if you've heard of it. It is, they have Kangen water.
Mhm.
Have you heard of that? It's,
Yes,
yeah.
the
And
alkaline water.
alkaline
Mhm.
water. A lot of people don't even know what it is. And she introduced me to that. And I believe that's why I've got back what I've gotten back, is because of that life-saving water. And
Absolutely.
so I joined that with her a few months, probably about a month and a half ago. And I tell you, it's the one crazy thing about these machines that I know people love today is we all want to be toxic free as much as possible. Is this machine, I wash my clothes in it with this water. I
Mhm.
wash my floors, the whole house. If I have a cut or a wound, I soak it, it's gone. And I tell you, it is just a pleasure to help people with two amazing natural companies.
Absolutely.
It's my passion. People that know me say, why aren't you just enjoying life and being retired? Well, my biggest thing in life is serving.
Yes.
That's what I'm put on earth for.
Is to serve.
Yes.
I
And
think that we're all placed here to serve. We just all have different and diverse roles and responsibilities. But definitely, health and wellness is a wonderful calling to
yeah,
be called to. And absolutely, I have friends that have shared with me the benefits of Kangen water. And I had a season where I was dehydrated. I couldn't rehydrate. I was struggling with rehydrating, and
wow,
I was so dehydrated that my lips were chapped.
wow.
Like my lips were cracking and chapped.
Yeah,
And I started taking the Kangen water, and it started rehydrating me back because it was actually water that was working. The rest of the
absolutely.
water wasn't working.
Oh, I'm glad
Um,
you know about it.
yeah, so that was really cool.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Uh, I really think that what I really want people to get out of this broadcast and the guests that I bring is that there doesn't have to be an expiration date on your dreams. There
Mhm.
doesn't have to be an expiration date on your joy, on your happiness, or even on your purpose.
Oh, that's so good put. Ooh, girl. Good.
Now, if you could talk to your younger self, let's say your 25-year-old self, would there be a message that you give her?
Um, yes and no. Yes, there's a huge message I would give if I had known what network marketing was. Is I used to love helping people so much that even after working my 40-hour shift, I always volunteered for the Red Cross, for hospice, and for Meals on Wheels. Brought
Mhm.
my kids with me, and they learned what it was to give back to the community. And that now both my kids are in the medical field because they've learned that. And if I could have learned about network marketing earlier, and I tell young kid would say to my younger self right now, is you can help a much more broad amount of people if you would do it in a different way. I mean,
Right. Work
I
smarter, not harder.
yeah, exactly. And I think, all my years of nursing, I wouldn't give it up for a minute because I met amazing patients and experiences that I will take with me. But if I could have started this journey sooner, it kind of saddens me how many more people I could have reached and touched through social media.
So how do people get in touch with you?
They can reach me on my profile, and if anybody's interested in what I'm doing in either these amazing Kangen water machines or supplements that are all bioavailable. So in other words, that means with most supplements, when you take them, you flush down the toilet probably 80% of it. So if you take vitamins and supplements, be sure you're taking the ones that are good for you, because you want to absorb them, because most of the time you're not getting 100%. And with this company, they've created a delivery system to the body that's completely bioavailable.
That is awesome, awesome,
Yeah.
awesome. Absolutely. Any last words, any parting words for our audience, Deborah?
Yeah, I would want to get back to the little warning that I got from God is when it comes to those times that we hit those blips in the road. With me, my first thought when I got the stroke and realized it was a stroke was, why me? I take care of myself. I'm healthy. I take supplements. Why me? And then I got out of that woe is me really quick, because it was my birthday coming up and they let me home the day of my birthday, luckily. And I realized I had to quit looking at this as a decline or a bump, but instead as an incline. God gave me a gift that day, and it was a gift of life. If I never have feeling in this hand or arm again, it's a small price, because I am here. And we need to have the mindset that whatever is given to us through life,
Yeah,
how we look at it, how we accept it, internalize it, and go on. And we can get stuck in that woe is me. But, at 64, especially, that was an easy time for me to say, oh, okay, I'm old. I got a stroke, and I'm going
you could easily say that. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's just age. But I knew it wasn't. It was something that happened. I had to realize did it to myself, the stress I was putting myself under. My husband would say to me, honey, you've been up too long. Honey, it's too late. Honey, go to bed. I thought I was Superwoman. We're not. And we need to listen to our bodies and listen to our husbands, if you have one, because I'm telling you, I didn't see it, but he did.
Wow.
And that's my message. And just keep going.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Deborah, I appreciate you joining me today. If you can hang out in the green room for just a moment so we can wrap up, and I will be there in just a second. Wow. I hope you guys enjoyed our conversation. I certainly enjoyed sharing my friend with you. And I hope that you can see that the sky is the limit, that every day really is a gift, and that the more that you cherish, the more that you seize, the more opportunities you get to be greater and greater. And tomorrow's not promised, so you might as well do it today. If I can help you, reach out. I am lisasantiago.com. And I will see you next week, next Wednesday at 4 p.m. right here on the Empowerment Duo page and Lisa Santiago's page. You guys have an amazing, amazing rest of the week, and check us out tomorrow morning if you're available at 9 a.m. We love you. God bless you. Bye-bye.